One of the things that people don't realize when they have a legal issue is they got to get ready for court. And by that I mean they've got to get ready for telling their story. You know, when something cool or neat happens to you, the first time you tell the story, people really don't understand what you're saying 100%, or it's not a great story. That may be another way to put it. Somewhere between the second and 15th time you've told it, you know, people are leaning in. They're like, whoa, that's a cool story. Man, that was a big fish, you know. And then the same is true in court. You have to practice saying this stuff out loud so that you can be successful when you get to court. You know, the last thing you want is to be sitting around the rest of your life saying, man, I wish I would have said that in court. You don't want to be in that position. So what we usually do is we work with our clients, you know, tell your story. And one of the ways to do it and to get practice is, you know, write it down. You know, we're not asking for a college essay. We're asking for bullet points so that you can get practice telling your story. Because when if I'm your attorney, turn to you and say, why do you want custody of your child? If your answer is 'cause, you're not going to do well. You know, if your answer is 'cause I love him, that's true, but not enough for court. You know, why do you think, you know, your neighbor's over your property line? 'Cause he is, and he's a so-and-so. That's not enough for court. You need to get practice telling the story. And that's why it's so important to have an attorney that can put you in that position and, you know, and send you home and unfortunately give you this stuff called homework. But, you know, this is a major undertaking and it's public speaking, and nobody likes public speaking. Well, maybe attorneys do, but most people don't like public speaking. Most people don't want to get up in front of the whole world and explain what's going on in their life. And if they do it for the first time and they really haven't thought it through, they find themselves being unsuccessful in court. That's why it's so important to work with your attorney. You know, create timelines. Set down a list of reasons or a list of things that you're going to say about the other party so that you can practice it back and forth. It's just so important to say these things in the office before you get to court in case you do say the wrong thing. Or maybe there's a better way to say it. You know, maybe drop some of the swear words. I know that guy's been burning your hide, chapping your hide, but we really don't want to start dropping four-letter words in court if we can avoid it. So that's one of the things that's so important to do with your attorney, and that's why a good attorney who's been to court over and over and over again can point you in the right directions for what the judge wants to hear. You know, it's kind of tough if you get in front of the judge and start complaining about something that the judge did last weekend. You know, you need to know that that's not a good argument in front of the judge. This judge doesn't really listen to those things. This judge really likes these other things, so let's focus on them. So, long story short, there's just a bunch to it. And you need somebody who's there every day, knows what to present to the court, knows how to present it to the court, and has worked with you. So, even though you're nervous as you can get, you're comfortable at least telling your story as much as you can be. So if you need help with any legal issues, you know, getting ready for court, filing motions, the whole 9 yards, guess what? I'm your guy. Fuller Bumpers, downtown Batesville. Love to bring you in, work through your legal issues, and as always, get you headed in a better direction.